All right, let's jump to the Big 12, boys. This is where we got a little bit of mayhem. I got more than 3 teams listed for me on this one. This is where we get a little bit of mayhem. All right, so let me go down the board for me, and everyone can kind of just bounce off that, for everything that I've got going on in terms of where I could see Big 12 going. So for conference winner, my conference winner is I have newcomer Utah winning the conference. I have Kansas State coming out on top going into the conference championship. First in the conference is 11-1. They're one loss to Arizona. I have Utah with 11-1 in second place. They're one loss to Oklahoma State. And this is the interesting thing about this conference is like this one and the SEC both, and even another one of the Group of Five conferences. All the teams that I think are going to be in play are just going to cannibalize themselves. Arizona, I've got going 10-2. I'm very excited for this Arizona team this year with their 2 losses, Utah and UCF. Oklahoma State 10-2, Kansas State and Colorado. UCF 9-3, Colorado, Florida, Utah, and Colorado 9-3, Kansas State, Arizona, Utah. But every single loss that I have across the board, I think will be competitive games. I don't think any of these losses I put, I consider like that's going to be a fucking L. Lock it in, bet your mortgage, with the exception of Florida beating UCF. That one you can probably bet your mortgage on. But everything else, it's like I think everything's going to stay really competitive across the board. Any of these losses that I named could be wins for these teams. But then again, they could also lose some other games. I feel like all the top teams of the Big 12 are honestly just going to cannibalize themselves this year. Big 12 is going to be very interesting. And personally, this is my opinion. Take it as you please. I think out of the power conferences that are going to make it into the college football playoff, Big 12 is going to be the weakest one, and they're going to get their shit wrecked when they get in the college football playoff. That's just my opinion.
So I do have Kansas State going on top at 11-1 with their one loss being at Colorado.
Okay.
But I do believe if they get past Oklahoma State and Colorado, they're going to go undefeated. I just don't see them losing past that. I have Oklahoma State getting second with their only loss to Kansas State. Same situation. They beat Kansas State. They're probably going to go undefeated. Their schedule is fairly weak for the most part. Excuse me. Circle week 1, though, ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State, that could be an upset. Just saying. Okay. Y'all don't mess with my South Dakota State Jackrabbits, just letting y'all know. Anyway, so I do have those two coming on top because of a tiebreaker. They will be because of the tiebreaker of Oklahoma State over Utah. I do have Utah going 11-1. I have Kansas going 10-2 because their schedule is just absolutely pathetic. And then I've got Arizona 8-4, Colorado 7-5, as well as TCU, BYU, Iowa State, all going 7-5. And then the rest, that's just crap.
Okay.
I mean, I agree with Alex here. I mean, I think the Big 12's, I think they're probably more diverse than they have ever been.
True.
But the thing is, they're 2 top heavy hitters, right? Oklahoma, Texas, gone. Them 2 have carried this conference for the last however many fucking years.
Right.
I think Oklahoma State, Utah, Kansas State is pretty much that new upper echelon of this conference. I haven't looked at Kansas' schedule, nor anybody else's schedule for that matter, but if it's that weak, I can see Kansas being in that conversation, same as Arizona.
I agree.
But the thing is, I think it comes down to those 3 teams. And me, in my opinion, I'll go with the better player. And I think Oklahoma State's got the best player in the best running back in the country,
Facts.
arguably, and Ollie Gordon. So I'm going to have Oklahoma State winning the Big 12, probably against Utah or Kansas State.
I will add to what Shane's saying. I do think Kansas can be a player in this. I didn't have them listed just because I went as far down as 9-3 and called it, for my notes, whatever. But Kansas, I was right behind Colorado at an 8-4. Who they lost to, don't remember because obviously I only have the notes that I wrote down. But when I went through the entire thing, Kansas was an 8-4 team, and that 8-4 could become a 9-3. That 9-3 could become a 10-2. You know what I mean? Like I think this conference is going to really cannibalize themselves. I don't think there's one clear team that is heavily favored. I know a lot of people want me. I've seen a lot of conversation on Kansas State. A lot of favor on that. I disagree with the heavy favor on Kansas State. I think it's a lot more balanced than the experts are saying that it's going to be. I think this is going to be a very competitive conference. But it's going to be competitive within themselves. Once we get to that next level and you're battling the Big Ten or the SEC, that's when I think they're going to get their teeth kicked in. That's my opinion. But.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, though. I mean, outside of Arizona, Oklahoma State, and Colorado, they have a fairly easy schedule.
Yeah.
And of course, Kansas is always going to be a good one. That's a rivalry game at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. But I could also see that twisted around because those wins that I have them winning could easily be losses in some of these some of this case. But
huge cannibalism for this conference.
And so I could be.
Tyler, what about you, buddy?
I'm out. Let me look, see what I got. Let's see. So I have 3 teams at 10-2.
Here we go.
And they are, let me make sure I'm not tripping. Okay, yeah, they're all 3. So I got Utah winning, with them losing to Arizona and Colorado. I have UCF coming in at 2nd.
Ooh.
Really?
Losing to Utah and Colorado.
Ooh.
I don't know. Colorado's getting some dubs to go 5-7, but it's weird. Oklahoma State 10-2, losing to Utah and West Virginia.
Oh man.
Hey, respect to the UCF thing. I think UCF is going to really be taking the next level this year, and I think obviously a huge credit that's going to be KJ.
I hope not. Gosh, I hope not.
I mean, it's gonna be credit to KJ. So let's for as an Arkansas fan, Ricky, well, let's relax a little bit over there.
You also have to remember who their head coach is, sir.
I'm aware, but let's relax a little bit.
Stand him.
Let's relax. Support your guy.
Okay.
Support your guy.
Go Gus.
He's a record holder.
Go Gus.
He's a record holder, career record holder at your school. So let's.
No, he's not.
KJ, yes, he is.
I'm not talking about KJ Jefferson.
That's who I'm talking about.
I'm talking Gus
so you have
Malzahn.
1 year that you gotta be a UCF fan. After this year, you can say fuck him again.
Okay, point taken.
There you go.
Go KJ.
There you go. Come on, UCF, baby. Let's get it.
Okay, so I have 2 11-1 teams making the Big Ten championship this year. The 11-1 Oklahoma State Cowboys, with their only loss coming to Utah, and the 11-1 Kansas Jayhawks, with their only loss coming to Kansas State.
Respect.
Give me Mike Gundy, and I think he will win in the first round of the playoffs as well.
Okay.
It's going to be a barn burner because it's going to be a rematch from last year's 39-32 matchup that they had. It was phenomenal last year. And Kansas, man, they got a pretty easy schedule outside of K-State. A pretty easy. I'm not even. Hype around Colorado is going to be out the window by halfway through the season.
Like it was last year.
And I'm going to be happy. I'm going to dance on the grave of Colorado. Because it's going to be great.
You do realize that, Jerry Jones is going to do his best to get Shedeur Sanders to Dallas, right?
Stop it.
I'm just telling you.
It's going to happen.
This is a college football episode. We do not need to talk about Jerry Jones right now.
No. It is a terrible football show. It is a college. It's NFL. It's all the above, sir. We've even talked
I don't want to cry.
I understand.
Yet.
I'm not saying that I agree that we need to go after him. What I'm telling you is we just have to be stuck with the obvious.
We're going to trade for Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
Let's go,
and then
baby.
and then that means that Alex will become a Cowboys fan, and we'll have 3. He'll have to get a Cowboys jersey in here. That is awesome.
Very true. Very
Let's
true.
Go. Gardner
Or
Minshew.
we can go ahead and go with Trey Lance.
No, Lord.
All right, let's not dive too much in that. This is a college episode. He right.
No, but I really, really think that this Kansas team is going to do something special this season, and they could potentially go 12-0. I mean, it's very likely.
Based on schedule, yeah.
Their non-conference games are a cakewalk. I mean, their hardest one is Illinois.
Who would have thought that at one point in our lifetime we'd be talking about how great Kansas football is?
It's like take me back to what,
Kansas-
2007?
Kansas at one
Whatever it
point,
was.
Yeah.
Kansas at one point was the Vanderbilt of the conference. They win maybe 1 or 2 games a year. And then all of a
It's
sudden,
because most of their money went into basketball.
Yeah.
and it still does.
And now their now their basketball team's kind of butt.
That
though.
is very true. That is very, very true. But that also has to do with a lot with the NIL and how that's spread out.
Yeah, and then it was the 2007 Jayhawks. They went 12-1 randomly.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. They ended the year number 7th in the nation. Shout out to that. Don't you just love it when you see those random teams just like have that random ass year?
Yep.
Just for no reason at all.
Arkansas, you're due.
like South Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a weird year for college football. I think that was 2007, right?
True.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're
that was,
right. I think it was 07.
USF got up to second in the nation. You know, that was a weird year, man. That was a weird year. It's also like my my offline college football 25 dynasty where I randomly had UAB win the Natty versus Georgia, and then literally the next year they like by week 7 they had lost 3 games, and I'm like, that's what happened.
That's the glory about college football. Anybody and
Facts.
everybody can be good at any given year. You just never know.
Right, facts.
Injuries play a lot into it too. Like last year, Kansas could have won a lot more than 8 games if Jalen Daniels wasn't.
Possibly.